news just into the newsroom. Police in Hopewell are investigating after.
What's happening, people? Y'all know the channel, man. Felon with Firearms, big Felon. Here to address a couple different states for y'all, man, so we can get y'all some information so that y'all can restore y'all civil rights and y'all gun rights. I'm gonna wait for a few people to come in here. And I've been doing bad, actually, man, with I've been doing bad, man, without getting on this live, man, and doing these Q&As, man. But I just been busy, been caught up on life. But I still, this content that I'm putting up here is forever. So you'll always be able to go back, you know what I'm saying, and check it out whenever you may need. Whenever you may need. So that's a good thing. Whether I'm here every Friday, giving y'all insight or not, what's happening. Whether I'm here every Friday giving y'all information or not, you know what I'm saying, this information is forever as long as YouTube allow it to be on our platform. So y'all need to take heed, take notes, and be proactive, because I honestly don't believe they're gonna let this type of thing stay up forever. Brian, what's happening, man? What's happening? And as y'all come in, man, go on here, smash that like button for me, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the ears. I appreciate those who's sharing this message. I appreciate those who know the importance of the message. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate it. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate your attentiveness. So, I'm gonna get started with the state of Georgia today. And if y'all haven't already got y'all a copy of either of these books, man, I really encourage y'all to, because that's another way that this information will remain available. Because I'm a big reader. I'm an avid reader, so you know that's one of my main reasons for putting it in a book. They say if you want to keep somebody down, put it in a book. But let's start with Georgia. Can your gun rights be restored in Georgia? It says anybody convicted of a felony in any jurisdiction cannot receive, possess, or transport a firearm unless pardoned. And let me give y'all that code. So yes, if you in Georgia and you want your gun rights restored, it can be done by pardon. Y'all, when y'all get a time, check out this code. It's GA.code and the code is 16-11-131. Section B through C. And it says that your gun rights can be restored by pardon. And specifically 16-11-129 B3. It says firearm privileges are restored by pardon or restoration of rights, but only if the pardon or restoration expressly authorizes the recipient to possess or transport a firearm. And for those, for the continual supporters, y'all have seen that I have posted the Georgia successful document for Georgia state pardon. And to that resident, if you're on here or not, man, I appreciate you trusting in my service. I appreciate you trusting in the information. And I'm glad you was able to get your gun rights restored. Eligibility. This is still for Georgia. Eligibility. The applicant must have completed sentence, including fines and restitution, have no pending charges, and completed 2 years without any criminal involvement. For a full pardon, The applicant must have completed a 5-year waiting period after completion of sentence, including probation, with no criminal involvement for 5 years. So they got a full pardon and a partial pardon. Stay out the way, complete all your sentences, pay your fines, your restitutions. If you owe any, if you owe anything, if say it was a victim to your charge, if you owe them any money, after you've completed those payments, completed your probation, that's when your time period start, and that's 2 years for a partial pardon. But if you're seeking a full pardon for a reason is for seeking your gun rights to be restored, it's a 5-year waiting period. And let me give y'all that case code. One more thing. It said rights restoration is available for federal and out-of-state offenses as long as the applicant is residing in the state of Georgia. So if you in the state of Georgia with a federal offense, or if you in the state of Georgia and your conviction was in Virginia, you also are eligible to apply for this pardon. So let me give y'all these codes, and then we're gonna move on to another state. Where was that at? 16-11-131C. Definitely need to get that book. I'm in Massachusetts. Hey Brian, oh shit, that didn't come out right. Hold on, let me put that up there. 16-11-131C. Hey Brian, the book, I have a book available with the information for Massachusetts. It's not this one. It's the Northeast Region edition, and I'm gonna put my Instagram name in here because my link to my bookstore is in my bio of my Instagram. So if anybody want any copy of this book, or if you want to see the success stories and the information that I'm putting out, I'm a little more active on Instagram than I am on YouTube. Check out that platform too. Alright, I'm gonna move to the next state now. That's my Instagram, y'all. Let me see. And you said definitely need a book. I need your Instagram. That's the Instagram, Jay. Is there a way to find out the status of your pardon process? It's a waiting game, bro. Like, you could call them, and I encourage you calling down there to the board, to the state board, and just be adamant about it. You know what I'm saying? Be as worrisome as that bill collector be when they be calling the house. Call them at least twice a month. Just keep your name relevant, keep your file relevant, get on them people's nerves, so that way they can't overlook you, and they won't overlook you. But it varies state by state how long the process is. Like for Maryland, I was just talking to a brother from Maryland yesterday, and the expungement process for Maryland, once they receive your application for expungement, they got up to 6 months to respond. On the flip side, once they receive your application for pardon, they have up to 2.5 years to respond. So it's state by state. Like in Virginia, I think the longest I've seen them push out somebody's situation was 8 months, 7 months. But each one of them vary, and once they receive your letter, they'll give you your response. All right, so let's talk about North Carolina. All right, North Carolina. People convicted of a felony may not possess a firearm. NC Gen Stat 14-415.1A. firearm rights may be restored by pardon. In addition, individuals who lived in North Carolina for at least 1 year, who have a single nonviolent felony conviction and no valid misdemeanors, may petition the court in the county of their residency. Let me get that in here. Y'all bear with me 1 second. Let me get that in here. For Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh and Delaware. Those 3 guys, y'all have to, matter of fact, let me put the link in here so that y'all can click the link for the book. The Northeast Region book is the book that you guys would need. Is the information for Pennsylvania, Delaware, Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Vermont, all the states of the Northeast Region is in this book. Let me get this link up here for y'all. I think that's a little more efficient and a little more effective than just putting my Instagram up there. I don't know why I ain't think about it. Y'all could have corrected me. Y'all could have, you know what I'm saying, bro, put the link up there instead of putting the damn Instagram. Boom. All right, that link right there, fellas, that link that I just pinned to the top, that'll get you your book, your Northeast Region, Southeast Region, whatever book you may need. And the brother that asked about Illinois, is a video in the YouTube, bro. Go, you know what I'm saying? When you get a chance, go check the link. I mean, go just search it. Illinois gun rights restoration. It's up there. I got you. So yeah, so firearm rights may be restored by pardon, and that's 14-415.1D, and that's for North Carolina. It says people with North Carolina state convictions are also subject to the parallel firearm disposition provision in federal law, 18 U.S.C. 922. And it says the federal bar may be avoided if their convictions are pardoned, set aside, or expunged, or if their civil rights have been restored, unless the relief expressly provides that they may not possess a firearm. Y'all got that? Let me put this NC code up here for y'all. NC Gen dot stat 14-415.1 section D states that firearm rights may be restored by pardon. Firearm rights may be restored by pardon. All right, let me see what we got next. All right, here we go. South Carolina. South Carolina, what y'all got? Firearms. It said, what about Eli? What about federal felonies? It was a firearm charge too. I have a state felony and misdemeanor, but I know that's easier to get off for sure. Let me see what this book got for federal. Pardon me 1 second, y'all. Hello? Yeah. From who? Yeah, I can hear you. It's not a good time. I'm working with the community right now. I'll reach out if I need you. All right, so look, here we go. Federal convictions. So in order to receive, in order to put in that work, if you got a federal conviction, you have to file a presidential pardon. And that pardon application is in this book as well as the information, the U.S. pardon attorney who you need to speak with. But it says, federal convictions only. Under the Constitution, only federal criminal convictions, such as those adjudicated in the United States District Court, may be pardoned by President. You know what I'm saying? So that's a federal offense. In addition, the President's pardon power extends to convictions adjudicated in the Superior Court of the District of Columbia and military court-martial proceedings. However, the President cannot pardon a state criminal offense. Accordingly, if you are seeking clemency for a state criminal conviction, you should not complete and submit this presidential pardon. Instead, you should contact the governor or other appropriate authorities in the states where you reside. So for a federal conviction, that's letting you know that it has to be a presidential pardon. So under the department rules governing petitions for executive clemency, an applicant must satisfy a minimum waiting period of 5 years before he becomes eligible to apply for a presidential pardon of his federal conviction. Let me put that in here. I'm gonna put this in on the screen for y'all. She back there making all that noise for. If you have a federal offense, you have a 5-year waiting period before you can apply for a presidential pardon. And let me find that code. Here it is right here. It's 28 CFR 1.1. 5-year. 5-year waiting period for federal offense. Presidential pardon. All right. Legalize. What's happening, man? What's happening? Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been caught up, man, in trying to keep this truck afloat, man. It's a hard thing to do. This trucking industry is so shady, man. But I ain't complaining. Don't take that as a complaint. But, you know, and then focusing on, you know, personal issues I got, man. Sometimes you got to pull back, man, and recollect yourself. Mental health is real, you know what I'm saying? And you got to make sure you keep up with yours in order to be effective out here. So that's why I've been, man. I've been focusing on Big Felon for a little bit. What was another question? That was federal. South Click. Oh yeah, that's what I was getting at. I was ready to do South Carolina. Let me go ahead and do South Carolina, people. But I stopped to address the federal offenders because that's one of the my most common questions, and that a lot of people, you know, hit me in my inbox or respond to me saying that it's impossible for federal offenders to go through the process. And if the information is available and they got requirements, if they got eligibilities, then it's not impossible. It's just that you got to take the time to do it. You can't. If something was impossible, it wouldn't have no way to be done. But if they clearly got an application, a waiting period, and suggested recommendations on how to prove that you rehabilitated, then it's possible. You just a naysayer. But South Carolina, a person convicted of a violent crime may not possess a firearm or ammunition. And that's SC Code 1623-500A. Handgun rights are also lost upon conviction of a violent crime. These rights may be restored by pardon. An exception for antique weapons elsewhere in the code would not appear to apply. So, let me give y'all that SC code. SC. Where is that? There it goes. 16-23-500A. Now, eligibility. Let's talk about South Carolina's eligibility. Petitioners are eligible to apply for a pardon upon discharge from supervision and payment of restitution. Parolees are eligible after successful completion of 5 years under supervision or discharge from supervision, or whichever comes first. No pardon application will be considered until restitution has been paid in full. So if you're in the state of South Carolina, you can get the application. You know what I'm saying? You can practice filling it out, get your wording right, but do not submit that application until you paid your fines and restitution, because they're going to run it. And once it says that you still have balances, they're going to reject it. So don't even waste your time. Because after denial, the applicant must wait 1 year before reapplying. And for South Carolina, it says people with federal and out-of-state offenses are not eligible for a in-state pardon. But if you got a federal offense, you can do a presidential pardon. So don't forget that. They're just saying that for their pardon, their state pardon through the parole board, if you got an out-of-state conviction or a federal conviction, you cannot apply for that relief. But the other form of relief that is available is the presidential pardon. Let me get to a couple of these questions. I've seen some new questions in here. What's going on with this phone? How do I get to my comments? Live chat. Alright. That was federal. I finally got my felony removed in Maryland. What you got, the PBJ? Yeah, Kurt F. I'm a 3-time convicted felon and I'm a violent felon. Yeah, it's gonna work, but you gotta work it. You know what I'm saying? You have to be the one who be proactive. You gotta be the one who's productive. Like the best way to prove, because you know they don't really, when you go into them interviews or go in front of that judge, you only got a couple seconds up there. So they not gonna have this extensive moment with you to really get a judge of your character. So what you got to do is you got to fight them with paperwork. Be sharp when it comes time to speak, but you got to fight them with paperwork. So gather as many accomplishments and accolades that you can. You know, a couple examples would be, if you do some community service for a company, get a letter on a letterhead stating that you did community service. If you got a business, and if you don't got a business, start a business and use that state corporate document with that seal of your state That's showing that you are, actively doing something. Advancements at work. If you were incarcerated and you did substance abuse and anger management, or the cognitive, like the thinking for a change and shit like that, and you completed it successfully, those certificates are things that you can include into your petition. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a personal trainer, if you got a trade, whatever you got that shows that you out here doing something, use that into your application, because that's how you argue with paper. And then once you get your opportunity in front of them to speak, then you epitomize it. You know what I'm saying? You give them a KO. You know what I'm saying? You got to let them know, but you got to be able to prove that you rehabilitated. All right, next question. I got a felony in 2006 for drugs and a misdemeanor in 2002. How do I get my rights back in Ohio? I did Ohio successfully, boss, and it's essentially the same process. But I'm gonna encourage you, go look up Ohio gun rights restoration and look for the Felon with Firearms video. It's the step-by-step process on how to do it. And to that brother that asked about Illinois, the same thing. Look up Illinois gun rights restoration and look for that Felon with Firearms video. It's in there. The information up there. Yes, sir. Just trying to y'all can get my pew-pews back. Illinois. If I had a felony in Arkansas and Missouri, do I have to do both states? It's based on a statute. Let me see. You said Missouri and Arkansas. Let me go to Arkansas real quick. Concealable weapon privileges lost for 10 years for felony offenders. Permanent if violent offense, unless conviction is set aside or pardoned. And the brother that asked about Arkansas and Missouri, typically you always start with the state that you're a resident of. You have to look at their laws to understand the process. I was on the interstate compact. They cooperated during parole. Yeah, you have to. So are you a resident of Arkansas or Missouri? Which state are you a resident of? Big homie, what's happening, soldier? Man, you know the grind don't stop, man. As long as there's people out here, man, my service gonna be needed. Missouri. All right, let's see what Missouri talking about. Firearm rights lost except antique weapons unless pardoned. Missouri 571070. It said vote in office restored upon completion of sentence, jury by pardon. I'm gonna send you these case codes to start your research from Missouri, because it can be restored if pardoned. And you will have to look at the Missouri pardon application and see if they got an option for out-of-state convictions. And if so, then you can satisfy both Missouri and Arkansas at home. Because Texas like that. Texas got a slot on their application that asks if you got an out-of-state conviction. You know what I'm saying? And you check that box, you put in your deets, and you complete your application. But let me give you this code real quick. MO dot real dot real. And everybody coming in, man, smash that like button for me. If y'all know somebody who could use this information, pass this live on. Or just pass the information on. Tell them to go check out Felon with Firearms. Because these Jews, man, they're indispensable, man. And I know I know I was tired of riding around dirty, not looking for trouble, but just wanting to protect what I work hard for, protect my family, secure my assets. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody who want any version of this book, whether you want the Northeast region, the Southeast region, the Southwest region, hit that link that's pinned at the top of the comment section. All the books are there, and you can get your own book, so you can have all these notes at hand, so you, in case you lose them. You know what I'm saying? Get y'all a book, man. All right, what we did last? South Carolina. All right, what was next? I think it was South Carolina, Florida. Florida. Let's see what we got for Florida. Firearms. Any felony conviction within Florida, a federal conviction, or a conviction in another state, punishable by the term exceeding 1 year, results in a state barring against owning or possession of firearm. The governor, upon recommendation of the Clemency Board, must specifically grant relief from this disability. And there's an 8-year eligibility waiting period. The rules of executive clemency. Firearm relief granted by another jurisdiction will be given effect by Florida. So that's for me. So say I move to Florida, being that Virginia restored my gun rights, I'll be good in Florida. I just gotta, show them the paperwork, and I'll be good, because it says firearm relief granted by another jurisdiction will be given effect by Florida. So let me put this in here. So for Florida is an 8-year waiting period, and then you have to pardon. Would I charge you to do the paperwork for you? That's what you asking me? Here you go, Florida. Stat. 790.001. Section 6. And then 790.23.1. I charge $700 for all states. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? I just charge $700. And that's love, you know what I'm saying? You reach out to an attorney, they're gonna tell you 35, 45, 5,500, and it's not guaranteed. It's never guaranteed. I save $100 for my time, my resources, my efforts, because I butter them up, man. And yeah, that's it. Half to get started, and then the other half once I send you your pardon or your petition or whichever it may be. Peace to the God. Yeah, man, what's happening? If you fit the requirement, man, yeah, what you waiting on, man? Cause I got to work. I got to work for them. And I've gotten Washington State done successfully, man. If stagnation and procrastination is the devil, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you want that work done, man, I'm here for you. You said, how do I reach you? How I reach you? I got IG. I'm putting my IG up there right now, soldier. You go through state. You go through state or straight to the federal route. You go through state or straight to the federal route. I don't understand the question, brother. Oh no. Oh, all right. I see what you're saying. I do. It depends on your charge, homie. If you got a state conviction, then you go through the state route. But if you got a federal conviction, then you got to use the federal route. For the most part, most of the people that I've dealt with, most of the people I've worked with had state convictions. You know what I'm saying? I have one federal conviction, and we just waiting on this paperwork to come back. Brother Israel, I appreciate you, soldier. I appreciate you. More life and more love. I definitely appreciate that, homie. Let me see where we was at. What about Hawaii? What and speaking to the brother from Hawaii, you said you've been waiting 3 years. Let me see, because I ain't got my proper notes for Hawaii, but I do got information for Hawaii in here. Let me see. There we go. No, that's Ohio. Hawaii. Firearm rights lost only during sentence. Firearm rights lost only during sentence, except for non-rated violent felons. Those convicted of violent felonies must seek restoration through expungement or pardon or set aside conviction. That's Idaho. No, that ain't what I'm looking for. Let me see. Here you go. Firearm rights lost from felony drug crimes, crime of violence, restored by pardon if specifically provided. Pardon specifically restoring gun rights are set aside. Vote office restored upon completion of sentence during parole or probation. Yeah, it says a pardon, and like I said, the pardon process, you just gotta wait for them, man. Did you get a response from them just saying that they received your application? Y'all, give me a few seconds. I gotta back into this dock door. But I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here with y'all. What he did, he pulled that container out. He pulled the container out. I said, what he did, pulled the container out.
Yeah, he just pulled that out.
All right.
Clear it out.
I'm doing Alabama next, just so y'all know. Next thing I'm going to is Alabama. But any state on here, y'all asked about it. The bare minimum I'm going to give y'all is the case code and whether you got a partner or not. That's the bare minimum I'm going to give y'all while I'm on here. But there's some states that I'm going through in detail. But bare minimum, I'm going to at least give y'all the case code for y'all to start y'all research. Let me just get up in this dark door. Alright, man, put your head up, get out your phone, get out the way. I got in the truck drivers in here. Yeah, like that. Give me 1 second, soldier. I can see you actually on the board. Let me hit this dot. This is my favorite place to come get loaded. You got a blind side up in here. Get in there. Get in there. Alright, I'm in there, people. I'm in there. I'm gonna answer that question I just seen it, then I'm gonna get on to Alabama. Alright. What was it? Yeah, received that. Yes, they received that. Waiting on over. There we go. How can I hire you to write up my pardon? Anybody who want me personally to do a pardon for them or a petition, hit that link. Go to my hold on 1 second. Let me see if this will take out here. Yeah, hit that link. Hit the link and go down to my IG and shoot me a message. Shoot me a message in my inbox, and I'll get to it. That link will take you there. That link will get you to me. Bro, where you been? I would definitely give you a shot on that. What's your 20? I'm in Maryland. I'm in Maryland. I'm in Maryland. I'm in Rockville right now getting some people to take back down to West Point, Virginia. I'm an ex-federal felon and state felon. What's your info? I sent the IG, bro. Oh, you said you ain't got no. How can I contact you, dearie? Please, God, how can I contact you? You don't have an email. I'm putting my email up there right now for you. And to the brother that's asking for the book for Georgia, is this one right here, the Southeast region. Hit the link that's pinned to the top of the comments and get the Southeast region book. Everything for Georgia is in here. Georgia, I did Georgia in this video, in this live as the first state. Hawaii. I live in Wisconsin, but I'm a convicted felon in Texas. Um, I've submitted my request for 2020. All I could do was write the plan upstairs each time. I was told we are reviewing, so I'm still waiting. Okay, fine. Yeah, I love you at a quick waste time, so just like explain whatever I got to do. I'm in Tennessee, which is one of the hardest states to even get your vote right back. I have to knock these lines and being confidence. Hey, cuz, heaven, so did you got the book for that got the Tennessee information in there? How do you feel like I explained it in that book? Was it easily understood? Was it a good read for you? It wasn't too difficult, was it? And again, I charge for everybody asking. I charge $700 to do the paperwork. Um, I much prefer you to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put these books out, or that's why I put the videos up on YouTube. I much prefer you to do them yourself. But if I am requested or asked to do them, I am charging $700, which is if you ask a lawyer or an attorney, they're gonna smack you for 3 and 4K. So say $100 is worth a shot, and it's never guaranteed. Whether you pay them the 4K or you pay me the 700, it's not guaranteed. It's all based on what you have done to prove your rehabilitation. All right, Alabama, firearms. Any person, any person convicted in any jurisdiction of committing a crime of violence may not own, possess, or exercise control over a pistol, meaning a firearm with a barrel of less than 12 inches in length. And it says restoration by pardon unless restoration is specifically withheld. Eligibility for Alabama. Let me know if y'all need that code up there. Eligibility, completion of sentence or completion of at least 3 years of permanent parole. That's interesting. Completion of your sentence or completion of at least 3 years of permanent parole, unless the pardon is sought on grounds of innocence and the judge or district attorney approve in writing. Persons convicted of a felony or certain persons convicted of a felony or certain other offenses involving danger to the person must submit to the taking of a DNA sample as a mandatory condition of the pardon. Board accepts board accepts applications from people with federal convictions and people convicted in other states jurisdictions residing in that state. So that's good news for Alabama. So in Alabama, if you got an out of state conviction or a federal conviction, you can utilize their state pardon process to relieve yourself from the disabilities. You can use their pardon application to get your gun rights back, to get your civil rights back, whether you got an out of state conviction or a federal conviction, as long as you are a resident of Alabama. And then we got Mississippi. How about Mississippi folk, man? I got anybody in Mississippi from here, man? I got anybody in here from Mississippi? Person convicted of a felony may not possess a firearm unless pardoned, granted federal relief, granted pardon, and granted federal relief under 18 USC 965, or granted a certificate of rehabilitation by a court. So, persons convicted of a felony may not possess a firearm unless pardoned and granted federal relief, or granted a certificate of rehabilitation. Eligibility. According to the governor's office, informed policy requires applicants to wait 7 years after the completion of sentence. Completion of sentence may include payment of fines or restitutions. my whole platform about, Kurt. My success rate. I'm more than I would say I'm 80-20, 80 to the good. And if you don't take my word for it, hit that link that I pinned up to the top and go to my Instagram and just look at all the documents that I post up there. I'm gonna start posting the success stories more onto YouTube, but just thinking about the functionality of the social platform, it's easier for people to see my work on Instagram. So I post everybody who I've done successfully. I've done New York successfully. I've done Ohio successfully. I've done Georgia successfully. I've done a shitload of Virginia successfully because I'm in Virginia. I've done Washington State successfully, and all these documents are on they are on my Instagram, and they are in the YouTube. But just I think when you do like the little community posts, like when you post a picture, I'm still learning YouTube, so the information is on YouTube as well. But just check out the Instagram, and you'll see all my successes. But it's not based on the underwriting. It's not based on um, the petition itself. It's based on your rehabilitation and whether you fit within the requirements. If it's say 5-year waiting period, and you reach out to me in 6 years or 5 years, cool. You are eligible. Um, if you got a whole lot of certificates, a whole lot of productive, a whole lot of ways to prove yourself productive and proactive on paper, you increase your chances. It's more about you and proving that you have been rehabilitated. Because habit, now everything is easy to read and understood. Good work. I appreciate that, soldier, and I asked for that feedback because the whole point of me doing it this way is a lot of us, don't understand the law lingo. And so I try to break it down so that we can understand it. You know what I'm saying? I come from an urban environment, Southside Richmond, whatever the case may be. I ain't stupid, but I don't talk with the big ass words, you know what I'm saying? So I try to make it understood for people like me. Layman terms, make it simple. You know what I'm saying? Simple and effective. Doesn't matter in Georgia if I was a convicted felon and was qualified. No. As a matter of fact, I ain't gonna say no, John Mack. Let me go to Georgia for you real quick. Let me go back to Georgia. You said you was doesn't matter in Georgia if I was convicted felon and was caught with a firearm. Will that disqualify? Let me go back to Georgia. Let me tell you exactly what you want to say. So I'm gonna go in detail with you. Make sure you got your notes. You got your pen and paper ready. All right, so Georgia, it says anybody convicted of a felony in any jurisdiction cannot receive, possess, or transport a firearm unless pardoned. And that's GA code 16-11-131B. All right. I don't know why the GPS talking, but it says firearm privileges are restored by pardon or restoration of rights, but only if the pardon or restoration expressly authorizes. So it don't say that being caught with a firearm is a disqualifying charge. It don't say a violent felon is a disqualifying charge. Let me go further into my notes. GA. All firearm rights for felonies. First offender may apply for a license 10 years after completion of sentence, 5 years for deferred adjudication. Yeah, it just say that the pardon has to expressively say that. When you fill out your application, you got to request for your gun rights. And it says your eligibility. The applicant must have completed sentencing, including fines and restitutions,
have no pending charges, and completed 2 years without any criminal involvement. That's for a partial pardon. Now, for a full pardon, which was one where you requested gun rights. For a full pardon, the state of Georgia, the applicant must have completed a 5-year waiting period after completion of sentence, including probation, with no criminal involvement for 5 years. I did Florida. Book, book, did Florida. Let's see what's in here. Did Mississippi. I'm gonna give y'all one more state and I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna take a nap by the Oh, hey, Arkansas still in here. Arkansas, if you still in here, let me know, man. I got some for you. I'm gonna do one more state and then I'm gonna take a nap while they unload this truck. Damn, Arkansas must have gone ahead. Arkansas must have gone ahead and left, man. Tennessee, Kentucky. Let me do Kentucky, because I got some folks that been requesting Kentucky on my IG. And I directed them to the channel, to the YouTube, but I'm not sure if they got here or not. But let's talk about Kentucky, what it takes. Firearm, a person convicted after January 1st of 1975 is prohibited from possessing a handgun. A person convicted after July 15th, 1994 is prohibited from possessing any firearm unless pardoned. So if you got convicted before 94 but after 75, you are prohibited from just a handgun. But if you was convicted after 94, you are prohibited from any firearm unless pardoned. And this is in Kentucky. Now, eligibility for restoration of rights, expiration of sentence or discharge with no pending charges. For pardon, the governor requires a 7-year waiting period. People with federal and out-of-state offenses are eligible only for restoration of rights, which is called a partial pardon. So, the information here, y'all. I'm getting a little tired, man. Been driving all night, so I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. But I appreciate y'all time. I know all y'all time is valuable. I hope y'all took some from this live, man, that could be beneficial for your situation. If not, man, just stay tuned in to the channel. Stay tuned in for the platform. I'm gonna try to come on live once a week at least and address some questions. And I'm gonna continue to upload information so that we can gonna get these rights back, man. Because we all deserve the right to protect ourselves.